Team, I have a question for you. What if you could train your nervous system the same way you train your body? So that under pressure, you don't spiral, you perform. Well, that's exactly what we're doing inside the Breathe Tactically Challenge on YFFR University, our online platform. This is a 21-day high-performance breathwork training designed to help you recover faster, think clearer, and stay in control when it matters most. From June 1st through 21st, we'll be going through this easily accessible breathwork challenge as a community. One theme every week with bite-sized info videos and daily practice videos. We'll also have self-assessments inside so you can watch yourself get stronger and more in control of your own mind and life. If you are already a member of YFFR University, you'll get full access starting June 1st. And if you're not, we're opening the door for you. Use code FIRST100, FIRST100, before June 21st to receive lifetime access to the entire platform for just $100. And then you can join us for the challenge. So train your breath, train your mind, and show up differently when it counts. We'll see you inside. Hi, everyone. Welcome to a From the Field episode. So these are some of my favorite. We kind of do them a little bit random because it's always happening when the mood strikes, when we find ourselves in a situation out and about where we're like, God, I really want to record this and share it with our community. And this was one of those times. So this was recorded in downtown Disneyland. We were taking a family trip, and Disneyland happens to be a very short distance from where our podcast producer, Maia Lucas, lives. And I've actually never met her in person before. Everything we do is virtual. Our team is around the country. And I really want to take advantage of this opportunity to talk to her, get to know her better. And, you can see why she is working for us, what she brings to the table. And also, it's just kind of cool for you to know what's going on behind the scenes. We record this. We record the podcast stuff. I hand it over to Maia and she listens to it and really extracts the best part, edits it so it is not horrible and, hard to listen to. And she is there just quietly doing the Lord's work for us. So, we love all of those people behind the scenes that are getting it done so that we can look good, sound good, and you can get the best version of us. So please enjoy our conversation with Maia Lucas. This is kind of taking a little lighthearted break from our journey with Linzie, going through all the stress of her training and her testing. So just enjoy a little bit of Disney fun while we have breakfast, and we'll see you next week for the next segment of Lindsay's journey. Welcome to Yoga for First Responders On Air, where we break down yoga, neuroscience, resilience, and public safety in a manner that's authentic, educational, and most importantly, entertaining and lighthearted. I'm YFFR's founder, Olivia Mead. As a yoga instructor and neuroscience enthusiast, I'm passionate about supporting first responders and anyone looking to improve their overall human performance. Each week, we'll dive into a new topic and often bring on expert guests to share their insights and experiences. But we'll also keep it real and share our own stories and struggles along the way. So whether you're a first responder or seeking to master the science of mental and physical resilience, this podcast is your ultimate guide to triumph over life's challenges with unbreakable strength and unwavering fortitude. By pressing play, your training has begun. So I only went for Tower of Terror, and you did Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, it was the Guardians.
Have you done both?
I have not. When I was younger and it was Tower of Terror, I knew I didn't want to do it.
Yeah.
So by the time that I was old enough and I'm going to try it, it was Guardians, and I assume it's the same mechanism of how much it goes up and down.
It is. I haven't done Guardians, but this is what I heard when they were building it, that with Tower of Terror, you're falling. That's the whole thing.
Yeah.
But they said they tried to make Guardians of Galaxy almost like you were being thrown up into the air.
It's a lot of back and forth, and that's why I thought it was going to be very, like, you go down, you stop, but it's one direction. It's like you go all the way down, you go up, you get thrown, like some of them are halfway, and then the big one at the end is they take you all the way to the top and all the way back down.
Yeah.
But it's like a straight, probably, I don't know if it was actually as long, but it felt like 2 minutes probably.
Of falling?
Of not even just falling, of falling,
down,
going back up and forth, so you like don't know what direction you're going, and it's like dark besides the screen. I would not recommend it to people who don't like heights.
No, it's not. I don't like heights, and I like when I do something, a ride, I like fast versus up and down. And we like Incredicoaster.
I was going to say, Incredicoaster is the one that I wanted to go on because I've liked Rollercoasters more recently.
Yeah.
But I was not a fan of the loop.
Okay, I have a trick for the loop-de-loop. This is, now Eric's here too, and he can, so 5 years ago whenever we came here, and he is like us, like not a huge fan of the roller coaster. That's why I don't like the Six Flags vibe. I don't want to go that high. It is health to me.
Yeah, a lot of the rides there are just about how high can you go,
Yeah,
how
I
much
hate
can
that
you
so much.
twist or go upside down.
But I did find, like, okay, the loop-de-loop, here's my trick. Here's my trick for basically the whole ride, but you have to, like, really surrender to it. You know what I mean?
Let it take you where it
Let
takes
it
you.
take you. Don't try to fight, like, you know. So for the loop, you got to take your head back, and you got to look back at where you're going. And if you look a few feet ahead, it's already done. You know what I mean? So I told him that, and he didn't prepare.
Really good this time. I looked up and I was like, I'm a fighter pilot. I'm coming around, and we're back into action.
You also have to pretend you're a fighter pilot. That really helps. But the first time, he didn't believe me or didn't do it in time, and his chin, he was looking down because he was fighting it. He was fighting the experience.
The physics of what's happening to your body.
He was fighting physics, and so the centrifugal force, is that what it's called?
I think, yeah.
Oh my god, I haven't said that word since 4th grade.
I don't think I've said it since high school, probably.
Yeah.
Centrifugal, I think.
Okay, is that if you are in a position, you can't fight the position. So when his head was down, he was unable to lift it back up. So his chin was caught down through the whole
the air's just
loop-de-loop.
keeping you in that position.
Yeah. My other trick is that if you write it, like you have to, and this is probably true for Guardians as well, but I just am not willing to do this. But like if you go a few times in a row, you know the pattern.
Yeah, I'm sure the people that it's like their favorite, they know what to expect, and like especially because it's timed with different, you know, like they have like the stuff on the screen in front, and you have rockets kind of guiding you through it. I'm sure if you learn the ride, you learn when it goes up and down and when it moves.
And I think that's a lot easier. Like 5 years ago, we did it like 5 times in a row. And so we knew what to expect, and it was so frickin' fun. You know, same thing with Space Mountain.
Yeah.
Same thing with, you know, Cars, like all of that stuff. Yeah, so it's like if you kind of know what to expect, then you can, you know, I think that's with anything.
Yeah, that's me with Indiana Jones. It's like for all the jerking and going back and forth, I've ridden it so many times that now I know some people get whiplash because if you're not expecting,
you're not ready,
you're like all tense, but I'm like, I know, and like, okay, I'm gonna be thrown back, so I gotta like,
you just gotta let it happen.
And don't tighten up.
You know, for Indiana Jones, it's so like intense, you know, that you can't be pregnant on it.
Yeah, it like
they tell you don't
shakes
be
you back and forth. It's like
not great for that.
Yeah, it's like you're in the box and you're being thrown around all directions.
Yeah,
kind of.
I love how we just like voluntarily get whiplash at Disneyland. You know, especially with Autopia, the Cars. We did that.
One, I only read that one for the first time when I went in 2024 in December, and it is so. You would think it would be so much smoother because it's like, oh, it's a car on a track, but like even if you're hitting the gas the whole time, it just is jerking back and forth.
Back and forth. I know, and I was like, how come more people don't get injured? Like, it's just, it's very, very intense. And so the knowing what to expect brings us back to Linzie Alvarez, which everything comes back to Linzie Alvarez.
Yes.
But that was what her nervousness is for that test and the And the info session was just not knowing what was ahead. And once you see what's ahead, once you know what the test is going to be, then now she can train for it and be prepared. So I think, everything, Disney mirrors life. Just like yoga mirrors life.
The more that you learn how to relax and be ready. And for Linzie, like, there's so much that I'm sure she's being tested on that is it's hard to do under stress because you have to, like, do so much physical and so much specific that if you're, like, stressed, like, your body is just not loose and ready to do that.
Yes.
So you need to go into it as least stressed as you can so that your body's, like, not having more pressure than it already is putting
ready
on
to
you.
Perform.
Yeah.
Linzie, I think it sounds like you need a trip to Disneyland to train for the Fire Academy. And the act of surrender, the act of being under stress, because there's a lot of people in Mickey ears who have no sense of direction or spatial awareness. And that is a really good way to train.
Reminder that not everyone knows how to navigate the world.
Do anything.
People that know how to walk on the street, they go into Disney and suddenly they're walking and stop with like 20 people behind them.
I hate that.
It's the people traffic jam.
Yes, and it's like, those are the same people that are probably driving stupid too. It's like,
forget that there are people around them that they have to
merge.
Be
Have you ever heard of
aware
zipper merge? So I'm here with Maia Lucas, everybody.
Hi. Nice to meet the podcast.
This is very meta for us because you're recording, but you're also going to edit this and you're also going to get it out there. So very meta that you're going to be in all iterations of this. Yes. So she's our podcast producer. She's behind the scenes. We're always, whenever I'm recording, I'm always apologizing to her for like things she has to edit. So what made you first, she started as an intern, now we're able to give her a little bit of money, so she's out of internship slightly. She can pay for a coffee and a bus route, but to listen to the podcast that she edited. So what made you apply? Like, where did you see this opportunity and you're like, yeah, I think I want to do that?
Yes, so I found it through LinkedIn. I had actually worked on a podcast in college because I was working in the marketing department for the art school at my college. And we did a podcast where it was featuring students that were in different productions for like dance, theater, music, where they would talk about it and then we'd use it to promote the show. So I found that I really liked doing podcasting and that I was doing the whole process. I was hosting, I was outreaching to find the people, I was writing the scripts, I was editing, producing, posting, and I really loved that. And so I was looking for a new job and I wanted something that was obviously kind of stable, like would bring money right away, but then if I had something that offered me a little more time on the side. Podcasting is so hard to get into if you don't have portfolio or experience. So I was like, I'm fine with an internship with something just to give me the skill set. Mm-hmm. And there was like a few different ones I applied to, but I really liked YFFR because the message and the goal of the company is something that is important and special, and it also is really intersectional where it's not just for first responders. Right. So me coming from very like mindfulness and doing yoga when I was younger, like I understood the side of that. And then I liked how it was bringing that to an industry that's probably not super mindful aware all the time. First responders are not always
because they're not taught it. That's the thing. It's like we can't expect someone to have this skill and then not train them in it.
Yeah, and it's very kind of like taboo to be like, oh, you got to be zen and meditate. But it's like it does more than just, calms you down. Like it's good for, as a person, like regulating yourself and like all, YFFR obviously dives into this so much. But it was really interesting, and I was like, I would want to be a part of a podcast that was something I believed in, because it's easier to kind of speak for a company and help promote their stuff when you're like, this is important work.
You're into it.
Yeah. So I applied, and then I did an interview with Jess, our lovely Jess Gannon, and I got the offer to do the internship. And so I started doing the podcast, and here I am.
Yeah.
I'm going to put you on the spot. This has been too easy so far. Who's your favorite host, Olivia or me?
Ooh.
Because you've listened to every episode almost at this point.
I like Olivia's long form, but Eric's quick casts. I think Eric's quick casts are really cool subjects that you do. So those are always really interesting, and I learn a lot.
That's a very good political answer. Well done, Maia.
You both have strengths.
She knows how to, we both have, everyone has their strengths. No, Eric does great quick casts, and he always, whenever, like, what's funny, I told Maia from the beginning, and I said, I don't care that I'm the quote-unquote the boss or whatever, you tell me what to do and when you need it, because I'm being pulled in many directions, and she does. She's like, hey girl, I need that, whatever, and I'll be like, I can't do it, and then Eric will just pull out something awesome to get it done, and so it's a good team. And no, you do such a great job, and you actually get it out. Like, you're the reason we have consistency.
Thank you. And I know, like, for YFFR, like, I know probably a lot of the podcast listeners, like, know YFFR from other things, but it's so much more than just the podcast. That is, the main focus of the company is so much on the day-to-day that the podcast is definitely the side hustle. So whenever, we have to do stuff for podcasts, I always try to find in the window where I'm like, okay, I know you are dealing with instructor school and all of these Zoom meetings and all of these trainings and then in-person training. So it's nice that we have the time to find the podcast and still keep it consistent on the site.
What's great with doing Linzie right now is that we're forced to put up, because her process of going through the fire service stuff is progressing. So we don't have a choice. Like, she had the info session and training thing on Thursday. I was like, all right, that's Thursday, gotta be there. And Eric was out of town, so I had to get a babysitter and stuff, but I had to get it done. Whereas if it wasn't time sensitive like that, I was like, well, I can't because I have my kid, so that's helping to progress moving it forward.
It makes a schedule, and then it also is where, all of Lindsay's stuff is happening faster than just one episode a week.
Right.
So there's so much that's kind of pre-recorded that then they'll be seeing for months when Lindsay's really done with the process in a lot shorter time.
Yeah.
So, in the podcast, when they're still listening to, like, oh, she's in this part of the journey, there will be a certain point where hopefully she'll be past that in the fire service. And then they'll get the little sneak peek of, oh, this actually happened like a month ago. It's coming up.
Yeah. I didn't tell you this, but BCFR, the one that I was about to say auditioned for, I'm still stuck in for that she applied for and is testing for, whatever. They thought it was really cool. They found out we were doing this podcast, and they thought it was really cool that we were doing that with her. And so I think we're going to try to bring in some interviews with the recruiters and instructors and things like that.
Yeah, and then they can use the episodes as a tool if, people want to apply and they're not sure and kind of want to know what the process really looks like. Lindsay's kind of like
the test subject.
Yeah, test subject.
They said, they can't do it themselves because they can't show preferential treatment, but we're doing it, and they're just being interviewed about the process. Yeah,
we're like the outside source that is doing the inside, because they can't, choose one candidate to be like, we'll follow you, and then,
and then what? I know.
It would be complicated if they're like, oh, like, we're not sure if you make it past this level, but we feel like we should.
Because we've already done all this, committed to it.
So we can show the reality of if it takes multiple times, if there's certain steps that are harder than others, that, Lindsay wants to warn people about. She can be honest about it.
So what is one thing you've learned about, not necessarily YFFR, but like yoga, mindfulness, or anything that we've taught, resilience, neuroscience? What's one thing that you were like, whoa, I didn't know that, by listening to these episodes and editing them?
I think the most is just how much breath work physically changes with stuff, because obviously with mindfulness, you are able to relax and be more in touch with your breath, but just all the science behind it, where it's with all this mindfulness, there's actual physical changes in resilience. And so I know you always bring up the study where it's you're able to make the oxygen tank last longer once it's supposed to be depleted, because of being able to use those dorsal breaths. But it's really just it's more than just mental and for relaxation. It just actually changes the chemistry of your body and your brain.
Yeah, so cool. We got to get you at instructor school sometime so you can really dive into everything.
No, I can see it happening in real time.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then you could also we could get you there, and you could also conduct some interviews and stuff.
That's true.
That would be really cool.
Then you can focus on instructor school, and I can be doing the interview people. It's all this the reels on Instagram or TikTok where people go around with the microphone and
exactly. Ask questions, and then you can ask things like they do on what's his name on what's the other Jimmy? Not Jimmy Fallon.
Jimmy Kimmel?
Jimmy Kimmel.
Oh yeah, when they're out in Hollywood Walk of Fame.
Yes, and you can ask people math questions and see if they know anything. Okay, so what is something you've learned about podcasting in general?
I've learned definitely what it takes to keep a consistent podcast schedule, because in the past podcast I was doing, we were having a consistent schedule, but it was based on the school. We had like a quarter system. So it was for like 10 weeks, and we'd, be doing every other week. And so we'd plan ahead of time, but it was very, you could do it for that period and then you take a break and recollect before the next period.
Yeah.
This one is definitely because, we want it to be more consistent, and it's actively, advertising the instructor schools and things that are coming up at specific dates.
Yeah.
It's very, you want to keep it consistent. And so there's a lot of preparation. I think people don't realize how far in advance you get podcast stuff done.
Yeah,
it's not just, you record it on, Friday, fix it up, and it's out Sunday. It's this, could have been recorded like 2 months ago, and then now we're getting to it. Like, it's definitely takes a lot of planning ahead, preparation, and then like shuffling stuff around to make sure what you're putting out is what, if you're promoting something, it's like, this is talking about instructor school, so that you can decide if you want to do instructor school
in the future,
and it's in 3 weeks, so here's your link to sign up if you want to do it.
And I think now, especially like with the Linzie series happening, we are getting better at, like, we've also changed from seasons to episode numbers.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to be better, and I might mess this up, just so you know. So there's no intention behind the mess up, but basically it's like trying to number each episode like in order of how I've recorded it.
Yes.
And not that like you can't switch it up if we need to, but it's like, okay, great, and then you can plan ahead for editing. Like, I know I have these 3 to edit, and so
these are the next ones upcoming.
So
if people see the episode change number, you did not miss the first 60 episodes.
They're there.
Season 4 is now starting with episode 67 and going into the future of that number.
And I think that like we were trying to do seasons because we were trying to do what you did in school, which it was like a container so we could have a break, but it kind of like stopped making sense, and we couldn't coordinate it because then it'd be like, wait, there's something we need to record, but it's between seasons, and it's just like, let's just we can get on a good vibe and put it out there.
Yeah, and definitely, and like with planning it so much ahead with seasons, it kind of felt like you're like, okay, the season's wrapped, let's take a break, but then in that break you're not really taking a break because you're trying to pre-record for everything else, so it's just easier
and then you're more stressed when you come back because you have all this stuff to do.
So it's easier if you just have it be, and it's still, we might do like breaks in between, like this chunk of episodes will like wrap up our
a natural
hypothetical
pause.
Season 4, but then it won't be that same like we have to have everything for Season 4 done. It's like the breaks can be a little more adaptable because it's not like, oh, we should do 16 episodes for this season and then we can take a break.
Yeah, exactly. So we're sitting at downtown Disney. So you were mentioning school. You went to UC Irvine.
Yes.
What was your major?
I was a drama major. So
drama. She loves the drama.
Love the drama. I majored in drama, and then I double minored in film and education.
Wow. And you're doing it all, girl. Yeah. I mean, you're doing the thing that you went to school for.
I work in arts administration, so that's fun. And then I do theater stuff on the side. If we have any Rocky Horror Picture Show fans, I work on a shadow cast.
And what does a shadow cast mean?
So shadow cast for Rocky Horror, it's definitely, that's like the movie you do shadow cast for, but they show the movie usually in a midnight showing, and they have actors in costume with props and scenery where they act out the movie in front of the screen.
Yeah, okay.
And with Rocky Horror, it's very big on the call-outs where people yell things at the screen. It's very not PG, so don't bring your kids. But it's fun, and I work on the tech team for that, so we have to like all the set pieces, all the props, if they have like the weights and pommel horse on the screen when he's like lifting the weights, like we bring that and we take it off stage.
How often does that show happen?
We do it once or twice a month, so usually we'll at least have one rehearsal a month and then one show a month, but in stuff like June for Pride Month or October for Halloween, we do it twice a month. And then we did it for the first time last year, and now we're doing it again this year, but we perform at the Grove in Anaheim once a year. Last year was for the 50th anniversary show, and we had the stars movie, like Tim Curry was there.
What?
Yeah, Barry Bostwick,
man,
Patricia Quinn, Nell Campbell.
I mean,
so
Tim Curry, did you have to like wheel him in?
So they did a Q&A thing before the show, but they didn't stay for the shadow cast.
Show. Okay.
But we got to meet them and get a picture with them, and they did
cool.
a Q&A. But now we're doing it again, but instead of for the 50th this year, it's for their Halloween show.
Okay.
But all the actors are supposed to be back again, so we get to see Tim Curry again.
So
hopefully he'll stay for the show this time. Yes.
I told you this when you first came on, that I went to school. I went to theater school at Circle in the Square Theater.
Yes.
And during that time where I was going to Circle in the Square was when Rocky Horror Show was on Broadway. It's coming back to Broadway.
Now it's back for another revival.
Yeah. So they would employ the students to do the grunt work. Like, I had to clean the toilets. I had to vacuum up. 1 second, baby. I had to vacuum up all the confetti that was used.
Yeah.
And
we don't do confetti or rice because it's so much cleanup.
Yeah.
And like at the theater, like all of us and the theater employees would have to clean that up.
Yes. Yeah.
So it's a lot. Yeah.
I do that. Sometimes I'd serve drinks. Sometimes I would, you work different jobs. You'd sell popcorn in the theater. So we were assigned different things. And we would have guest narrators, like famous people that were guest narrators. And we had Dick Cavett, who is an old talk show host. And he actually did my outgoing voicemail for me because he has a very distinct voice. Nice. So I asked him if he would do my outgoing voicemail. We had Penn and Teller, we had all these people. And then this was during 9/11. So 9/11 happened. No one was coming to the shows anymore. There was like 10 people in the audience. And the call-outs were pretty weak.
Yeah. And it's also like there's some of the call-outs that are very like dark humor or something. Yeah. So at a time like that, it probably would be like you don't want to say a lot of the dark stuff when the times are very dark and there's a lot going on that's scary.
But it makes the show, right? Yeah. So one of this new assignments was to sit in the audience with the script and yell the call-outs, which I already knew them by heart anyway.
Yeah.
So my job was to sit there and do the call-outs. So
they're fun because there's a lot. Like I know there's one script which is probably like the same one that you had that everyone has. That's the basic one that a lot of newbies will read. But then there's also ones that like theaters like do that kind of become a thing regionally. Okay. So there's the basic ones everyone knows, but then if you go to the same Shadowcast for a lot, you'll see ones pop up that are like funny. So we have like specific ones that are definitely regional that are funny.
Oh, cool. Yeah. That's cool, like very specific. The one I always remember is what's a yacht for boating.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
The one that I think
have a feeling of what's a yacht for boating.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
The one that I think is always so funny because people laugh so hard and I think it's really basic but good is during the first criminologist monologue, the narrator, when he's flipping through the book. Yeah. When he picks it up, people go, let me show you my Pokemon cards. And then he opens it. Oh. People die laughing at that. Really? It's so simple. And that's like one of the most tame ones of the whole show. Yeah. But that one, like, people I've never heard more. We have a lot of, they're called virgins. We have a lot of new people that haven't seen the Shadowcast before. Yeah. So they come for the first time. They're called virgins. And our Shadowcast, we do get a lot of new people that come each time. And that one is always a hit with the people who've never seen it before.
So they're like, whoa, this is, they start to pick up on what's happening.
Yeah, and that one's funny because everyone gets like, Pokemon cards are like,
Yeah.
A beloved thing by everyone.
When I worked at Rocky Horror Show, there was no such thing as Pokemon yet. It didn't exist.
Definitely, it's a big thing now because Pokemon was very big. It was like starting when I was a kid, and then now obviously it's had this huge resurgence and people are spending thousands of dollars for a single card.
I worked at Rocky Horror Show on Broadway before you were born. What year were you born, ma'am?
I was born in 2002, so I was born after.
Yeah, you were born after, so that's cute. So we're good day. Yeah, so did I mention, I may not have mentioned it, we're sitting at Downtown Disney.
Yes.
We just had our Disney trip, and yes, I did mention that because I talked about UC Irvine. Yes. And you're a California gal like I am.
I'm local to Disney, so that's you guys came from out of town for the trip. But then
we said, meet us at Downtown Disney, and you were probably like, yay, can't wait for that.
Honestly, Downtown Disney is fun. I feel like Disneyland is its own thing where you have to be in the Disney mode to go to Disney.
Yeah.
But I like downtown Disney. It's the same as going to
Disney Light.
Yeah. It's like you're going to the restaurants and shops. It's very Orange County.
It's very cool.
It's like a little bit of Disney flavor without, being in the park and being hit with Disney as soon as you enter.
Yeah. Have you seen a copper firefighter out in the world and had an inkling to be like, hey, I want to tell you something? Have you ever had that feeling?
I haven't. I have seen there's a lot of different police stations nearby just because in the more kind of residential area, that's where a lot of the stations are. But I haven't had a lot of interactions with them, and I don't know anyone personally that's on either force. But if I make a friend who's a police officer, firefighter, or medic, first responder, I'll be like, oh, if you want to, there are these cool online resources. You don't even have to do.
You could even say like, hey, just listen to this podcast. I produce it, and this is it. And that would be a good. And so I'm just bringing that up because they're all different. We had a little talk with our instructors, and they're passing out flyers or this or that, but there's so many ways to tell folks like, hey, just turn on this podcast, here it is, let me send it to you.
Especially with the quick cast, because you're like, you don't even have to listen to an hour, like listen to like 10 minutes of this
and we'll take
concept.
it from there. So speaking of quick cast, so we kind of have 3 different versions of episodes. We have Linzie, our long form series. Quick casts are typically under 10 minutes or so, just like a quick hit. And then this one's called From the Field, where it's an impromptu interview and you might hear life happening around us, but we're so inspired,
It's conversations in the wild.
Conversations in the wild. So before we close out this convo, Eric, is there anything you'd like to ask Maia about her life or her... anything? I know I'm putting him on the spot, but he's been sitting here so kindly as I just take over as per usual.
Yeah, I'm over here yawning because I've got my Disney hangover in place.
Yeah, it's the end. It's the downfall after the Disney adrenaline. Yeah.
I'm feeling rather good, but actually yesterday was my bad day. But what's funny? It's like raw dogging Disney, which is what we did, sun up to sundown. Plus no booze and we didn't get an opportunity to get any. Oh my God, Maia, we almost got kicked out for sneaking booze in.
Oh yeah, no, that's a no-no. Especially that's been a big thing with people like sneaking in and being tricky about the way they do it. I know there was a thing where people were putting BuzzBalls in Pringles cans, and then they posted about it that it got it and it worked, and that was, I know, it's a thing where a lot of people tried to do that. But it's just, I know people that don't want to spend the $15, $20 on a Disney drink, but it's part of, if you're going to be drunk at Disneyland, get the good Disney drinks.
Well, then we hid it in the bushes, hid them they were little Jack bottles. We hid them in the bushes by our hotel so that when off property, everyone, off property.
In a random neutral bush area.
In a random neutral bush that had nothing to do with Disney, but it was on the way to our off-property hotel, so we were able to have a little on the way. So 20 years ago, we were joking that we were going to hide little bottles of booze up our butt or up our vaginas so that we could get it in. Maia, I'm going to show you the walks that we were practicing. Okay? Yeah. Pretend this is RuPaul's Drag Race.
Okay.
All right. Okay, so she's going to see, this was walk number 1, Maia.
Yeah, we have to describe it though, because nobody can see it. This is a podcast.
So getting ready to sneak into Disneyland, setting the scene.
On our tiptoes, V-shaped
lifting
feet.
Up. Pelvis forward.
It's actually like you're setting up for chair pose a little bit.
Yeah, it's like walking like hips forward.
This is walk number 2.
Okay.
This is a game of charades.
Like
a bevel,
heel to toe. Kind of doing like
a
chug.
camel walk or a chug.
Yeah.
I'm not sure why that would be the walk with the bottles stuck where they're at.
If you're kind of leaning on one foot and chugging the other one forward, you're gonna look less weird walking.
I see.
It's a great way to keep your pelvic floor tight.
Got it.
Anyway.
I was like, that one to me doesn't make sense based on where the bottles were hidden.
I think if you walk into Disney like that, they would definitely look at you.
They would definitely know, yeah. Are you hiding booze up your butt?
Well, I think they would also just be like, "Are you okay to go in?"
Are you okay? Yes. Do we need to call someone? What's your who's your emergency contact?
Yeah, that's the one thing for Disney that I feel like people forget is it's like you will walk the whole day. Like when I've gone by myself, like you get almost like 20,000 steps in for the day.
Yes, we counted it. Yeah. One was like 28,000. One was 17,000. Was a California Adventure because we could sit down a lot. You need to plan. Like RTA, you need to plan removing the armor, you need to plan the yin yoga, you need to plan a foot massage. It hurts so bad. It hurts.
Yes. You have to wear good shoes, like, cute outfits aside.
Yeah.
Don't wear your short shorts to Disney because you're walking so much, you will chafe. Don't wear your cute sandals because your feet will be killing you.
So
I was also going to say, the reason I'm tired, Olivia took a nap in the parking lot of Seal Beach yesterday. Like, she's just slept in downtown.
I couldn't handle it. I was like, I've got to close my eyes. And
I only took like a 7
minute. You had to reset.
Yes, I only took a 7-minute nap, but it was enough to get me back. But I did wear small jean shorts and sneakers and socks, and then went on Tiana's ride.
Oh yeah.
And my underwear got soaked and my socks got soaked, and I was so miserable that I had to buy new socks and sweatpants from the store.
That one's a hard one to do at the beginning of the day, and you can always tell who the California natives are because they have the ponchos.
They know.
And they like tuck their bags under, like they know you're gonna get a bit wet, but as long as your shoes, if you bring like extra socks or you wear shoes that will
or
dry.
bring sandals for that ride.
Yes, but yeah, you have to protect like your stuff, and if you're wearing the poncho, like that's the only way that you will not get like soaked to the bone on that ride.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah, 'cause there's some log rides. It's a log ride for those who don't know. There's some log rides where you don't get very wet, but that one, drenched. Everybody walked out of that ride just soaking wet.
It used to be Splash Mountain, and they've rebranded it, I think just last year, to be Tiana's Bayou Adventure.
Yeah.
And Splash Mountain is like, it's not just like, oh, you're going down the log ride. It's like you are like getting wet along the way.
And there are 3 inches of ice. Yeah, I got wet before the big thing.
Yeah.
And there's 3 inches of water at the bottom, so your foot is like soaked in the log. And also, like, I think with some other log rides, you get like on top gets wet, kind of like it splashes.
No, this is like you're kind of halfway in the water too.
You're in the water, and so yeah, that was super tough. What was I going to say about?
I chose not to do that after seeing how miserable Olivia was.
Yeah,
like I'm up for a log ride, and for some reason I was like, I'll push the stroller on this.
That one, I don't do that one every time, because if you are doing a long day at Disney, it's such a long line that you do have to plan when you're going to do it, because you can't just, I'm going to like go on a whim. Like you have to do it, or else you're going to be stuck in that line for over 2 hours. But if you're doing it, you don't do it at the start of the day, or you do it at the start and you have a plan to dry off.
Yes. I did not have a plan, and I was like limping because of water in my socks and in my underwear, and like
Disney got an extra $150 from us because she had to buy a pair of pants and a pair of socks, and I think the total was
that's how they get you
about $350.
They're like, oh, you can replace anything in your outfit if you buy this $50 item from the merch store.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so this leads me back to the number 5. No, that is a joke from Waiting for Guffman. So if anyone has seen that, please go. R.I.P. Catherine O'Hara, my goodness. Okay. But this brings us back to being ill-prepared. And I love how there's so much preparation people do for Disneyland, yet they don't prepare for life or for a career in public safety.
They're willing to like train and plan like months ahead to be like, okay, we're going to do this Disney trip and do it right.
Yes.
But then stuff that is, more life-threatening than Disney.
Yeah. They're like, we're just going to wing it.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm going to go to the academy. I'm going to do some push-ups. It's going to be great. Guys, prepare. Proactive preparedness for longevity, for life, for law enforcement, for public safety, and for Disneyland.
Yes.
And I think that is a great place to end our From the Field Downtown Disney. Maia Lucas. What's your middle name, Maia?
Elena.
Bye, Eric. He's taking our little girl potty. Maia Elena Lucas. Great to finally meet you in the flesh, my dear.
Thank you for having me. I will hear this later in the editing side.
Exactly. Very, very meta.
Hey, before we go, I want to remind you that training your mental and physical health is incredibly important, especially for those working in high-stress jobs like first responders.
And if you're interested in learning more about yoga for first responders, visit yogaforfirstresponders.org for our on-demand training app, online course platform, in-person training, and more.
Like this podcast, subscribe, and give us a great review. We are so happy to have you part of the YFFR mission.